push it? Ah. Thank you. I was gonna shake your hand. Give me a broken one. Nice touch.
Councilor Fury.
No,
No, he was.
we were just wondering about that.
Has he called? No? Did Joe call you? He was out last night. We saw him last night.
That will get another day. Sure. Nice touch. Nice touch. Maybe he thinks it's the third Thursday.
Councilor Fury, did you get your cookies, sir?
I couldn't open mine.
Stiff as a head.
Trouble tables, you know. So I get pictures of yours.
And you still applied. Still volunteered. Will you not pick it up again today? And you still applied. Congratulations.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Oh, he's on the way?
This is
On the way.
When he said he'd be here in a minute, Mike,
Yes,
is
we
he
do.
talking? Or should we start without him because it's 7?
Just saw the answer. I didn't. He should be here. That's all he
We
said.
may want to start without him. A little bit. Talk loud.
Regular meeting of the City Council held in Council Chamber on Thursday, February 26, 2015 at 7:00 p.m. for the purpose of transacting any and all business. Notice of this meeting was posted on February 19, 2015 at 4:22 p.m. This meeting is being taped and is live on SATV. Please do your best to silence all mobile devices. Absolute Councilor Gerard and Councilor O'Keefe, they should be along. And Council President Sargent presided. Councilor Epley moved to dispense with the reading of the record of the previous meeting. All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. President Sargent requested that everyone please rise to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Councilor McCarthy.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public testimony, being none. Any announcements by councilors as part of the public testimony? Being none. Thank you. Hearings.
Order from Comcast to install a conduit on Hawthorne Boulevard.
Hawthorne Boulevard. Councilor McCarthy. Councilor Famico.
No, it's mine, but can we open it up to the gentleman from Comcast too?
Yes, sir. All those in. Kindly bring in.
Yes, good evening. My name is Timmy Broderick. I'm with Comcast, 55 Concord Street in North Reading. Here this evening to talk about a petition that we have, a request to provide service to 18 Hawthorne Boulevard. From an existing manhole on Hawthorne Boulevard, we'd like to place one 3-inch PVC conduit 90 feet plus or minus in a southerly direction to their property to provide service to that building.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else here to speak in favor of that? Anybody to speak opposed? Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you to the gentleman from Comcast. Obviously, I don't have an objection to providing someone with service, but are you aware of the cable replacement project?
I spoke to the counselor before the meeting, the National Grid one?
The National Grid one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you, there's a whole bunch of work going to be going on the street, so you're going to have to make sure that my only response to this request would be to make sure you coordinate with them. The last thing anyone wants you to do is to do this work and then have to do it again because of the extensive work they're going to be doing, putting in a double manhole and then trenching all the way up Hawthorne Boulevard in both directions. So obviously this is going to be impacted somehow, just to make sure that you coordinate with them with regards to this project?
Yes, sir. We spoke before the meeting, and we'll get in touch with Dave Knowlton to go through the scheduling and make sure that we're all in sync.
Thank you.
Thank you. Council McCarthy moves that the hearing be closed. All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the matter carries.
Thank you.
Council McCarthy.
No, that's fine.
Okay. All right. On the matter to install the conduit on Hawthorne Boulevard, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the matter carries. Appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Mark Danderson to serve as a member of the Board of Health with a term to expire on March 1st, 2018.
Councilor Famico.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Councilor Famico moves for confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Danderson is a newer resident to Salem. He has a really great background in getting information out in medical health services and how to communicate with people more effectively. We're really looking forward to having him be part of this particular commission and board because they need to up their ability to communicate with the residents a bit more about what's going on in the Board of Health and how they can get involved in that process and to reach out more. So we're looking forward to the abilities and the knowledge he has in his background to bring to this. So I thank him for volunteering his service to the community.
Thank you, Councilor Famico. Any further discussion? Being none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Terrio?
Yes.
Councilor Siegel?
Yes.
Councilor Milo?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilor Legault?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Councilor Famico?
Yes.
Councilor Epley?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter before us, 9 councilors present, 9 voting in the affirmative, 2 absent. The matter carries. Councilor Famico.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask for a suspension of the rules to allow Mr. Danderson to approach the council.
Council asks for suspension of the rules. No. Any opposition? Being none, please step forward.
Thank you, council members. I appreciate the opportunity to serve my city. You left out one important detail of my history. I'm actually a native son. I was born at the hospital down the street, and I'm happy to be back in my hometown, and I'm looking forward to serving my native town. I want to thank the mayor and the council for giving me that opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Might I add that we welcome newcomers freely, but anybody that comes from Salem, no matter how long you be gone, never stops being from Salem. So thank you for coming back. Good job. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Thomas Campbell to serve as a member of the Conservation Commission with a term to expire March 1st, 2018.
Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a reappointment for Thomas Campbell. He's already been on the Conservation Commission, and we thank him for his service so far, and we appreciate his willingness to stay on. And so I am very happy to support his renomination to the Conservation Commission.
Thank you, Councilor Epley. Let the record show that Senior Councilor O'Keefe is with us now. Any further discussion? Being none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Terrio?
Yes.
Councilor Siegel?
Yes.
Councilor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Councilor Milo?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilor Legault?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Councilor Famico?
Yes.
Councilor Epley?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of the reappointment of Thomas Campbell, 10 councilors present, 10 vote in the affirmative, 1 absent. The matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Michael Caggiano to serve as a member of the Parking Board with a term to expire March 1st, 2016.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Mr. President, members of the City Council, I move that Michael Caggiano be confirmed for roll call vote for reappointment at the He's actually the chairman of the parking board.
Under
Lives on
discussion.
Ward 7.
Any further discussion?
Nope, roll call.
Okay. No other councilors? All right, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Terrio?
Yes.
Council Segal?
Yes.
Council O'Keefe?
Yes.
Council Milo?
Yes.
Council McCarthy?
Yes.
Council Legault?
Yes.
Council Fury?
Yes.
Council Famico?
Yes.
Council Epley?
Yes.
Council Sargent?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of the reappointment of Mike Caggiano, 10 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 1 absent. The matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Ryan Sostok to serve as a member of the parking board as the Salem Chamber of Commerce nominee with a term to expire March 1st, 2016.
Councilor Famico.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Under discussion.
Although Renus lives in Beverly, he does reside in Salem during the day with the chamber. As it says, he is our appointee through the business community. As many know that park downtown and work downtown, we have this delicate balance with our parking garages and our lots of the downtown residents as well as the business community and those that come into the city. So I'm glad that we have somebody on the business part of it all to represent the board. I'm also hoping that going forward that Renus is active with other parts of our community, getting the business involved with other parts such as the walkers in the town, not even necessarily those that drive it. But I wholeheartedly go for this reappointment.
Any further discussion? Being none. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Terrio?
Yes.
Council Segal?
Yes.
Council O'Keefe?
Yes.
Council Milo?
Yes.
Council McCarthy?
Yes.
Council Legault?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Council Famico?
Yes.
Council Epley?
Yes.
Council Sargent?
Yes. Thank you. On the reappointment of Renus Ostok to the parking board, 10 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 1 absent. The matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Peter Kopolis to serve as a member of the Zoning Board of Appeals with a term to expire March 1st, 2018.
Councilor Famico.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Under discussion.
I attended my first zoning board of appeals meeting last week when we had a couple properties on Bridge Street. They were under discussion. I was thoroughly impressed with Mr. Kopolis at that meeting. Not only was he referencing our zoning rules and regulations, but kind of gave some different opportunities for people to branch out, look other places versus just saying no. He is a dedicated person who not only lives in the ward and right towards downtown, but also owns a couple properties in other areas such as the Boston Street corridor. So I'm glad he is lending his expertise going forward with us.
Thank you, Councilor Famico. Any further discussion? Councilor Epley.
I'm speaking in full support of Mr. Kopolis in this role, and I just want to say that he's done a heck of a lot of a better job than his predecessor in this particular role. And for those of you at home, that was me.
Thank you, Councilor Epley. Any further discussion? Being none. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Terrio?
Yes.
Council Segal?
Yes.
Council O'Keefe?
Yes.
Council Milo?
Yes.
Council McCarthy?
Yes.
Council Legault?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Council Famico?
Yes.
Council Epley?
Yes.
Council Sargent?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of the reappointment of Peter Kopolis, 10 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, 1 absent. The matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Paul Minsky to serve as a constable with a term to expire November 6, 2018.
Councilor Segal.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move received and filed.
Who received and placed on file. All those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Communications from the mayor.
Received after the deadline of Tuesday noon, the mayor's appointment of Tyler Globe to serve as a member of the Conservation Commission with a term to expire March 1st, 2018.
Let me see. Let me get that one.
Mr. President.
No? Councilor Epley. Thanks for bailing me out.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, this was received after the deadline, and so I would move that we defer consideration of this matter with no discussion until the next council meeting.
On that matter, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the matter carries. Further communications.
We have a appropriation of $69,055.63 from retained earnings sewer fund to DPS sewer equipment lease.
Councilor Toriel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also move for adoption.
All right, Councilor Toriel moves for adoption. Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the first year's lease payment on a replacement for our primary vacuum truck. The previous one, we have a backup unit that had failed entirely over the summer, and our remaining unit is getting rather stressed and really should be put into service as a backup and needs quite an overhaul in order to continue operating. So this is the first year's payment under a lease to own over several years, over I believe a 5-year term, and yeah, the 5-year term, and this will become our primary, the primary water and sewer vacuum truck.
Thank you, Councilor Toriel. Any further discussion? Being none, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $62,851 from retained earnings water fund to engineering water contracted services.
Councilor Toriel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Councilor Toriel moves suspension of the rules. No objection?
Thank you, Mr. President. I also move for adoption.
Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the fees to Grenice, our city contract, on-call contractor. This is to repair all the water main breaks that have occurred in the month of February. They're all itemized within here, and we've had, let's see, this past month, we've had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them so far. Let's hope that season is almost over. This goes over from the end of January, from the last week of January until last week. And hopefully we're done.
8 of them to go along with, I don't know, some 90 inches of snow, so
yeah.
Kudos to all the men who work long hours on the snow and on those water breaks. Any further discussion? Councilor McCarthy.
Just to echo that, is the EPS is doing yeoman's work, but these are just water main breaks that we couldn't do ourselves. We contracted out. This doesn't even reflect the whole list of water main breaks, I'll tell you that right now, because I can think of at least 3 of them that occurred in my neighborhood alone over this time period. So, I mean, kudos for the Grenice and was it Grenice who did this?
Yeah, Grenice.
For doing it, but I mean, kudos to our guys too, because they're pulling the double duty as well. So, this is just so people know relative to this is just for the ones we didn't take on ourselves, because our guys were either in a hole someplace else or were just too tied up elsewhere to do them. So we usually take these on ourselves.
Right. Thank you. Any further discussion? Being none, on the appropriation, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the matter carries. Mayor's informational page.
We have a communication from the mayor requesting an opportunity to provide an update with the aggregation consultants on the Salem Power Choice, Salem's Municipal Electrical Aggregation Program.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't have an issue with this, the aggregation and the update if there is a will. Mr. Ely from the Planning Department and Mr. Cohen are here to give us an update rather than refer this to committee. So if the will is, I'd ask and move to suspend the rules to allow them to give us the update right here while everyone's here.
Move for suspension of the rules. Any objection? Being none? Which one? Mr. Ely first?
So this is Jeff Ely, City Planning Department, Energy and Sustainability Manager. I'm going to actually turn it over to our consultant, Bay State Consultants in Peregrine, to give the council an update, if that's okay. Okay.
No objection? Please.
We have 28 copies of this that we can pass around. So it's John Shortsleeve, Bay State, Paul Gromer, Peregrine. We've been here before.
Thank you.
While she's passing that around, let me just make a few comments. I realize this is also going out to some of the citizens by the television. The context here is this is a municipal aggregation. We're authorized now to go out and procure a supply contract on behalf of all of the consumers in Salem currently supplied by National Grid. And our objective is to procure a contract for them that is greener than National Grid supply, that is less expensive than National Grid, more stable, and more consumer-friendly. The consumer-friendly piece of it is the only thing I think we'll emphasize at the moment. What we're talking about there is the opt-out provisions. Every consumer in Salem that is eventually approached regarding this offer, which is months away, but will have the opportunity to opt out before the program begins, and they'll have the opportunity to opt out during the term of the contract that we procure. The supplier will be committed for the term, but the consumers won't. With that, I'm going to let Paul speak. He's the one that filed the document with DOER and talked about some of the green.
Thank you, John. So one of the objectives of the plan, as John mentioned, is to obtain an electricity supply that's greener than the supply that the utility provides today. For example, by increasing the amount of renewable energy or green wind energy, for example, in the plant. The city is going forward in a way that maximizes your flexibility going forward. There are lots of different ways to be greener that come with different prices associated with them. Prices are changing in the market all the time. So what we've done is to put forward a plan which gives you the maximum number of options, and then once it's approved by the regulators and ready to go, you will go out into the market, find out what's the most attractive option, and then you'll lock it in at that time. So for now, we're maintaining maximum flexibility for the city, and then once you're ready to go forward, the city can make a final decision about what exactly it wants to do. There are lots of different ways of being green, including looking at the source of the renewable energy. You can choose energy from solar or from wind or from hydroelectric. You can look at what's called the vintage of the generation, whether it's older or newer. And you can also look at where it's located, whether it's elsewhere in New England, here in Massachusetts, or conceivably even solar energy projects here in Salem could be part of the supply. So you have all those options to consider, and we'll lock it in for you once the city's ready to go. Just to look at the final slide on the schedule, there's a long regulatory review process as part of the plan. It needs to be approved by 2 state agencies, first the Department of Energy Resources and then the Department of Public Utilities. That whole process takes roughly 6 months to get through. We're sort of in the early stages of that now. Once it's through the regulatory process, that's when the city will procure the contract and we'll launch the program at that time.
Thank you. Question from the council. Councilor O'Keefe.
Mr. President, thank you very much. Can I ask, I think Mr. Schuster has a question. Sure. Oh, you should say that too, Mr. President. Are there other companies doing this beside you?
Yes.
I got a call from some, I don't know, I think it was from California if I looked at the area code, and they're proposing the same kind. You're shaking your head, Mr. Gold. So it must be other people are doing the same thing?
It's catching on in the Commonwealth. There are 4 other, I think we're one of 4 consulting firms that actually manage the procurement, and then there are a host of suppliers that will respond to the procurements that we manage.
All right, so this is another short question. Will a consumer like myself, this National Grid, get a bill from who? You? National Grid?
No, we will run a procurement.
Explain that to people at home listening.
We will run a competitive procurement. The last time we did this for Greenfield, we had 4 national suppliers competing for the right to supply power to all the consumers in Greenfield. And the low bid was Con Ed Solutions. And so Con Ed Solutions in that case won the bid and is now supplying power to those consumers. We'll run through the same process here in Salem. We will run a competitive procurement, and we will get bids from national suppliers, and the city will look at the bids and make a decision as to which one to select.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Mr. President, and then who sends the bills?
The supplier.
Where does the consumer send the National Grid payment?
The supplier will actually have its supply charge billed by National Grid. So right now, you're getting a bill from National Grid. for both delivery and supply, you will continue to get a bill from National Grid, but on the bill from National Grid, it'll give the name of the supplier that won the bid and the price of that supplier, but it's one bill from National Grid.
Last question, positively. If I want to opt out and people at home or my colleagues want to opt out, what do they do? When can they, a year to get out of it?
So once we run the procurement, hopefully in the fall, and we make the selection, then for 30 days, a letter will go out to all of the consumers in Salem that are being supplied by National Grid. It'll explain the program, it'll explain the price, it'll explain the end grid price and the aggregation price. And if at that point the consumer wants to opt out, they will return the enclosed self-addressed reply card. If they don't do that, then they will be enrolled in the program. And then if they're into month 1, 2, 3 of the program and they want to opt out, there are 2 or 3 ways to get out.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Legault.
Thank you, Mr. President, to you. Thank you, gentlemen. I'm just looking at your aggressive schedule, and you've assigned it over 14 months, but you're not assigning any particular months to any of these, so just for my own clarification, maybe the people at home, we're in month 3 where we're technically working to finalize the plan. You have that highlighted in red.
That's correct. So we have a draft plan prepared now.
Your DPU review, Department of Public Utilities review, comes up starting in March or in April?
Well, it depends. So the reason we don't have specific months in is that, for example, the Department of Energy Resources is looking at the draft plan now.
They're looking at the draft plan now.
We can't control how long they take. Our hope and the goal of this aggressive schedule would be to launch the program in November.
So theoretically, looking at this, we're actually slightly ahead of schedule because you were in month 3, but you're actually got your information at DPU already. So you might be a little ahead of the game, which may work in our favor or not. So you're looking at executing the contract in month 11. That's 6 or 7 months from now?
That's our hope.
Okay. And then the public launch, program launch in month 14. And there'll be the public education process will start in months 12 and 13. Are you planning on a full 2-month process for that?
Yes, that's right. Every citizen in the town will get a letter explaining the program. At the same time, we'll have a website for the program. We'll do articles in the newspaper and whatever else would be useful.
Okay, I'll sit down, but if you could just take a minute to go over the basics of that public notice program, I'd appreciate it.
Yes.
Public education program. Thank you.
So,
thank you. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so once the contract is signed by the supplier, a letter will be sent to every electric customer in the town currently served, in the city currently served by National Grid, that explains the program, explains their ability to opt out of the program either before it starts or after it starts at any time they want, and explains the price of the power that will come through the city program as compared to the utility price, and will also explain the green components of the offering, the ways in which it's greener than the utility offer. So a letter will go to everyone, and then in addition, there'll be a website, there'll be press releases, articles in the newspaper explaining the program. And we'll also have a toll-free number that any citizen can call at any time to receive information, ask questions, and have those answered.
Thank you. Councilor Toriel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, I know with the National Grid rate hikes that went into effect late in this fall for the winter season, based on what was the anticipated sharp increases in natural gas costs, I know from reading recently that those cost hikes didn't wind up being as large as expected, but that said, I know when those rate hikes came through, I started looking into alternative suppliers, and I know a lot of other people have as well. So my question, I guess primarily for those who might be watching again with that in mind, is does this program encompass just people who are on the default provider of National Grid at this time, or is it all ratepayers in the city? So if you've already selected, what happens to people who've already selected an alternative provider?
So the people who've already selected an alternative provider will not be enrolled in the program automatically. Only those currently part of National Grid, being supplied by National Grid, automatically become part of the program. If someone being served by an alternative supplier now would like to join, they would have the opportunity to do so. As far as the program is concerned, it could be that their contract with the alternative supplier limits their ability to do that, but as far as the program goes, they're free to join at any time.
Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, to the gentleman at the podium. Just for the people at home, what type of savings can the residents of Salem expect if we turn over to this type of program?
So I'll give an example of what's happening today, but also say we can't know for certain until we get there because the prices are changing all the time. But in the two aggregations we're running now, in Natick and in Greenfield, the consumers are saving about 10% off the supply portion of their electric bill. The supply portion is about 2/3 of the total, so that's 7-8% compared to the utility price. That's what's happening today.
Okay, thank you.
It could be higher or lower than that. Historically, aggregations have been a little bit lower than the utility, but not dramatically lower.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President.
Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you. Curious question. I mean, I'm all for being green, and at the same time as we're getting into this program to save money, or to potentially save money for every ratepayer in the city. Can you explain what the process is how you're balancing green and saving money? Because obviously, with the various programs that are out there, solar's booming now, and a lot of people are putting it on their homes, and, wind and all that, and we're hearing about Cape Wind, the whole funding for that mechanism going out the window, or however that's working. So what's the balance? Because obviously, the reason for this is, when you look at it, is over the last bunch of years, everyone's moved towards natural gas, and all of a sudden, let's fire everything with natural gas, and all of a sudden natural gas takes a spike, and everyone's rates go up. And so that's an interesting, that's the first part of the question, is, how we balancing cost over going green, and just tries to maximize savings for everybody. And then the second part of it is for people at home is, you have the ability right now, when you go on your bills, if you haven't really ever looked at your bill's broken into two parts, distribution and the supplier. National Grid is still going to be the person who shows up at your door. If you have an issue with Grid, like your power line came down off your house, you call Grid, Grid's still showing up. They're responsible for the lines. That's not going to change. You actually, right now, you have the ability to go on the back of your bill and check the box, and you can change right now if you wanted to. You go home right now and check the box and change to a different supply, and you're still going to pay Grid, but they somehow pay whoever else, however that works. So it's not going to change. Most people wouldn't even know the change but we're going to do it. Obviously, we want to educate everyone because we're trying to save them money on this. So we're going to group all together and try to save money. So I guess the question is really going back to the first part is, how do we balance saving money and going green at the same time?
So that's a great question, and the thought is that there would be, if you will, two options in the supply. There would be the standard product that everybody would get if they didn't choose something different, and that would be greener, but the sort of the least green, so it would be the lowest additional cost. So you can become greener for a very low additional cost, or very, very low, and then we would have an optional product that would be more expensive but would be greener still, so it would include more solar or more new wind. But that would be a voluntary decision. So if a customer wanted to choose to pay more for green, they'd have that option. But the standard product that everyone became part of automatically would be greener, but green in the way that is adds the least amount to the cost, the most cost-effective green you can get.
Thank you.
Let me just add one comment. Our plan during the procurement, hopefully we do it in the fall, is to have what we call an indicative pricing round, where we're going to get prices for various green options, so that we can share that with the city council and with the mayor. And that's before we go and procure for real. The purpose of that is to really get to your question. How do you balance, how much green and what does it cost? And so the idea is to be trying to make those sorts of informed decisions once we have some market pricing to understand.
Council Milo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you. What's the expected length of the agreement? Is it a couple years, 3 years generally? How do they?
We're going to do this exact same thing with indicative pricing round. We're going to procure probably a 1 year, a 2 year, a 3 year on an indicative basis. We'll see what the prices are, and that will then inform how we'll get several options and put those options in front of the city, and the city will choose.
And so say we choose a 3-year agreement, and somewhere within that time period, the supplier's rate might be higher than, say, National Grid's rate. Will we have the option to suspend the agreement so that it doesn't cost the
So the city, every consumer will have the option at any time, for any reason, to say, I want out, and go back to National Grid or go to another supplier. That's a right of every single consumer. That's different than the city suspending the umbrella agreement.
Right.
The umbrella agreement will be in place, the supplier will be committed for the term, the 3-year term in your example, of that agreement for anyone that wants to stay in for 3 years. But any consumer in Salem will be able to get out at any time.
So will there be a way, I'm just saying if this happens, if people aren't babysitting their bill, will there be a way for them to learn that they're paying more than what they would if they went back to National Grid? Can we make that provision somehow, or?
Well, the city would certainly be free to inform the citizens
Okay,
at
all
any
right,
time
so
of the
it's on us,
difference in
yeah,
price.
okay.
And also, just to build on your question, you raise a good point about the risk associated with a long-term contract because electricity prices do change. And so for that reason, most aggregations have not gone out for as long as 3 years, for
Oh,
example.
okay,
The
good.
contracts tend to be shorter than that.
Great, thank you very much.
And I think on the renewable question, this gentleman wants to make a comment that might be helpful.
Jeff Cohen, 12 Hancock Street, Renewable Energy Task Force and Solar Coach. So to Bob, to Councilor McCarthy's question about solar. So whether you purchase solar, lease it, or do what they call community solar, which will be coming to Salem soon, very few people can offset 100% of their electric bill. In any of those scenarios, what they don't offset, they're still paying a bill to National Grid. Right now, as we talked about National Grid, in the bill now, you can opt out to do green, and you usually, in all cases right now, you would pay a little bit more. So one of the advantages of this is that some of the, for example, the community solar companies would add whatever discount they would afford to the discount for the municipal aggregation. It wouldn't be one or the other. Okay, so let's say you got 10% from the municipal aggregation and you got 5 or 10% from a community solar company, you would be one added to the other.
Thank you. Councilor Rupley.
Thank you, Mr. President. This question, I'm sorry, is not to Jeff.
Okay.
but is to the gentleman before. My question actually goes in line with the at-large councilor that had just spoken, and that is, if the city enters into this aggregation contract, and at the end of that term, the city is then not satisfied, then would it then at that point, would the city, all of the city's residents default back to National Grid as the supplier?
They would. If the city elects, the city has options at that point. The city can, fire the supplier and get a new supplier. The city can say we want to end the aggregation, in which everybody defaults back.
And then the second question is, if after, presuming that the city enters into the aggregation contract, if after, let's say it's a 1-year or 2-year contract, that we want to have another aggregation contract, will there be a similar process that we are having right now in terms of re-upping?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Or the procurement process will repeat. The regulatory process does not.
Okay, meaning that coming up with the particular supplier, and then we would have the public education and opt-out provision again for those individuals.
Well,
yeah. So we would, if the city were to come to the end of one contract and then procure another contract with the same or another supplier, but uninterrupted, seamless, consumers would continue to be able to opt out at any time. There would be notice on the website or in the press about the new contract and the new prices. The only thing that wouldn't repeat is we wouldn't do the letters again. We wouldn't send the letter to everybody again. People would be free to opt out. I guess the city could choose to send the letters again if it wanted to, but you wouldn't be required to do that.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions? Being none, Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, actually, we didn't move it to government services, so I just think we're just going to move on. Because we allowed to speak about it, where there's no action being taken tonight other than to allow these gentlemen to speak to us, so.
Moved, received, and placed on file.
That will work.
Okay, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Jeff. Motions, orders, and resolutions.
Actually,
Council Siegel.
Mr. President, there was a, received after the deadline, mayor's informational page. I don't know if you want to read?
Received after the deadline of Tuesday noon, mayor requesting opportunity to address the city council to update on the ongoing challenges with customer service and related contractual issues with curbside trash and recycling contractor Northside Carter.
Council Siegel.
I'm going to move that this be referred to ordinance, license, and legal. And I'd also like to invite the mayor, her designee, Jeff Cohen, Dave Knowlton from engineering, Larry Ramden from health, so we can have a meeting about this and have the mayor address it. I know, and Northside Cutting, excuse me, we're going to need them. Excuse me?
Which committee?
Ordinance, license, legal, co-posted with the whole, council of the whole.
Thank you, Council Siegel. Any further discussion? Being none, on the motion to move this matter to Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with Committee of the Whole, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Now, motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Famico.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and the City Council, February 26, 2015. Ordered that the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with Committee of the Whole, meet to discuss temporary no parking signs.
Under discussion.
All right. As we all know, in the last couple of weeks, we've had just a little bit of snow. And with that, we've seen the great orange signs throughout the city posted as no parking. I'd like us to meet as a committee to discuss those, when they go up, how they're actually written on, things like that, so that we can better inform our citizens and whether or not we tie that into how we're doing the all calls, how we're posting it on the website. For this particular committee, we've also had many claims dealing with towing during these snowstorms, which I know can be quite the expense on people, something that they're not necessarily budgeting in their budget. Actually, I hope no one would budget that in their budget anyhow. But this will give us an opportunity to have those discussions and to hopefully improve the process and the signage in general going forward.
Thank you, Councilor Famico. Councilor O'Keefe.
What's the problem with the process now? I mean, I see them all along Jefferson Avenue. I've seen them all along. I mean, and it says when, where, what time, and don't park there so they can take the snow. Now, you're talking about no parking or no parking snow removal. Which do you want the committee to look at?
I'll let Councilor Famico answer that question. Please.
Thank you. So this is just in general. Some people have noticed that sometimes we have these signs up that are done in a timely manner. Other times we have signs that are going up that are simply a piece of paper with a piece of tape on the top, a piece on the bottom, and then when the wind blows, they kind of go like this, and you can't see them.
But the sign says per order, Salem Police Department. There's a big difference.
Some of them are like...
The committee can work. They can...
Thank you.
But just so we can work on that, and some of the times it isn't done in a timely manner to improve the process. We can do better.
Okay, good care.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel.
I think it's all said, as Councilor O'Keefe. I think we're going to put it in my committee so we can take a look at it. Basically, over the last 3 or 4 years, anyone who's been in Ola, anytime you come to claims, there's always claims that come in for parking, for towing, because the way the signs go up are all different ways, sometimes from the police department, sometimes from the contractor, sometimes they're real signs, sometimes they're paper signs. So we just want to get one sign and have everyone do it the same way, because a lot of times it comes in blind to the ordinance, to the OLA committee, and we just want to make everything the same way.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. Any further discussion? Being none. Councilor McCarthy.
I'll weigh in on this. Let's be honest. The police department, whoever puts the orange sign up, if you see an orange sign that says no parking, then you shouldn't be parking there. I don't care if it says Wednesday from whenever to whenever. If it has a date-specific time on it, it's usually there for a road project, construction work, or snow removal. If it says no parking per order of the police department, it means they've decided that in this case, because we're all talking about snow, that the street is too narrow for cars, or it's going to be snow removal, or whatever's going to go on, and you shouldn't be parking there. The police department is not going to tow a car unless there's a sign that says they can tow it. They just don't haphazardly decide we're just going to go down XYZ street and start towing all the cars because we want to do something. They put the signs out, they try to put them out in a timely manner, and obviously I think that's what the intent is. the timely manner. But if there's a sign out that says no parking, then you shouldn't be parking there. And the only reason the police department can tow something if it's posted no parking. So, I mean, their intent is to get it posted in a timely manner, and I fully understand that sometimes they don't happen as quick as we'd like, or they don't give them enough matter or enough notice, but, I mean, we're scrambling to try to get the city back from all the snow. And unfortunately, sometimes getting caught up in all of that is, some people do get towed, and it's unfortunate. And I feel for those people, is because, you know, no one budgets for, I mean, when you get into the whole tow and storage, it's a couple, you know, it's $175, whatever it ends up being. So I appreciate that, but the police aren't haphazardly out there towing. They're only towing on posted streets that are posted no parking. I want that to be assured. I mean, we can talk about the signage and maybe not being quite as adequate as that some people might want, but the fact of the matter is, they're towing on restricted areas only when it's posted that way. And it's posted that way because they've been noticed, and that's why, as the good counselor refers to it, it says no parking per order, Salem Police Department. That's what should be on them.
Thank you, Councilor McCarthy. Councilor Famico.
Thank you. Just like to add one more thing. In the case of contractors, these aren't posted by our DPS and police. They're handed them off to the contractors who then put them up. So sometimes we don't know whether or not the contractors actually put them up or not. The good counselor from Ward 3 had mentioned before, with today's technology, maybe if they even just took a photo. So it's just an opportunity to have that discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Famico. Any further discussion? Being none, on the matter on the motion by Councilor Famico to move this to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, City Council, February 26, 2015, ordered that the monthly financial report dated January 31st, 2015 be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
Under discussion.
No discussion.
Hearing none. No further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, in the City Council, February 26, 2015, ordered that the Director of Park, Recreation, and Community Services raise the Irish flag at Riley Plaza on March 13th through March 17th, 2015, in honor of St. Patrick's Day.
Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is one of the few times per year that I can be referred to as Councilor O. Epley. Continuing the long tradition of Ward 4 Councilor Lenny O'Leary, and then followed up by Ward 4 Councilor Jerry Ryan, this German kid is continuing that tradition out of Ward 4. It also is the home of the Ancient Order of Hibernians on Boston Street as well. This is the annual raising of the Irish flag in Riley Plaza. It's a tradition now within Salem. I know that we'll have on our green ties and so forth in a couple of weeks at the next meeting, but in order to make sure that Parks and Rec have this in adequate time, our good city clerk reminded me that we needed to get this in, basically at the end of February, just to ensure that. And so this is just continuing that tradition.
Thank you, Councilor Epley. Any further discussion? Being none? Just remind you, it is a good day to remember Councilor O'Leary as well as Irish heritage, and they go hand in hand. Thank you. On the motion to raise the Irish flag, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Any late motions? Being none, thank you. Committee reports. We got Councilor Siegel.
City of Salem, in City Council, February 26, 2015, the Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, to whom was referred the matter of granting certain licenses, has considered said matter and will recommend approval. Tag days, Salem High School Concert Band and Wind Ensemble, May 30th, 2015, Salem High School Marching Band, December 5th, 2015, and Salem High School Girls Track Team, March 21st, 2015, and May 2nd, 2015.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the matter carries. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion, being none? All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the matter carries. Further committee reports. Councilor Siegel.
City of Salem and the City Council, February 26, 2015. The Committee on Ordinance, License, Legal Affairs co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of Algonquin Gas constructing a natural gas pipeline, has considered said matter and would recommend adopting the order authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement relative to construction, granting a license to Algonquin to conduct work on a city-owned parcel, granting permanent easements over certain city parcels, and executing an agreement authorizing, an order of taking.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the matter carries. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
Through you, Mr. President, a couple of things. For those who aren't familiar with this, this is just part of the pipeline that is going to connect into the power plant. We had to give, it's going through Centella Lane, and there's going to be a permanent easement about right across Centella Lane, about 80 feet underground. And the company that's going to do it, Algonquin's actually here tonight if we want to suspend the rules and allow them to take any questions. They did come before the Committee of a Whole and did answer a lot of questions. The questions I had were actually answered by City Solicitor Renard. It had to do with the valuation. Algonquin is going to give us about $450,000 towards this. $200,000 is going to help defer the cost of the harbor master. And the other $250,000 is going to go to making Centella Lane an open space. They're going to develop that into an open space. I did have a question which City Planner Lynn Duncan did get back to me about my concern with open space, and every time we go to Salem on open space, it ends up that there's contamination.
It's already there.
It's correct, it is already there, but my concern was about the city planner coming in front of us asking for another couple $100,000 to clean it. She referred to me in an email that it shouldn't be that way. They're already doing the LSPs, and she said it may be $10,000 to $20,000 is all they're going to need. So I'm in full support of this, and I'll leave it at the will of the body if they want to open it up and let the gentleman from Algonquin talk, if there's any questions.
Any further discussion? Can I have a show of hands if anybody has any questions of Algonquin? Being none? Thank you anyways, gentlemen. On adoption of, oops. Please. Roll call vote. Very good, thank you. We're going to move this to roll call vote. On adoption of the recommendation, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll. Is it one lease? Councilor Siegel, is it one lease?
Huh?
Is it one lease we have here?
It's permanent easements, that, so we would need a roll call vote because we're giving a permanent easement on city property.
Probably two, but you need to vote.
Right.
Two easements.
Two easements. Right, on each one probably be a separate vote.
Okay, so let's have two roll call votes on each easement, please.
Excuse me.
And I don't know how you want to do parcel one, parcel two.
The granted easement, permanent easement on city-owned land for Algonquin Gas.
Please.
Council Turner?
Yes.
Council Segal?
Yes.
Council O'Keefe?
Yes.
Council Milo?
Yeah.
Council McCarthy?
Yes.
Council Legault?
Yes.
Council Fury?
Yes.
Council Perito?
Yes.
Council Epley?
Yes.
Council Sargent?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of grant a permanent easement on city-owned land to Algonquin Gas, 10 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, 1 absent. The matter carries. Now, on the second easement, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Turner?
Yes.
Council Segal?
Yes.
Council O'Keefe?
Yes.
Council Milo?
Yeah.
Council McCarthy?
Yes.
Council Legault?
Yes.
Council Fury?
Yes.
Council Kamiko?
Yes.
Council Epley?
Yes.
Council Sargent?
Yes.
The two easements.
Thank you.
Just have to vote on executing the agreement.
On the second easement, authorizing order of taken with respect to easement of city-owned parcels.
Unless we already did it. I'm not
10 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, 1 absent. The matter carries.
contract. If it's more than 3 years, we have to vote.
Further committee reports. Councilor Siegel.
Actually, Mr. President, through you, quick question. Councilor Epley and myself have a question on the previous one. Just want to make sure, and ask the city clerk. We just did 2 roll call for the easements because there were 2 parcels, but about executing the agreement authorizing order of taking, would that be something separate or would that be covered, or is it just, want to make sure we get it correct so they don't have to come back? And would that be a show of hands? I don't know if Councilor Keefe, whoever has a...
Councilor McCarthy.
I think just to cover ourselves, maybe we should just take a third roll call vote just to cover ourselves. I mean, obviously, everyone seems to be in agreement with this, but just to cover ourselves to make sure. I mean, is that okay?
Yep, there were 4 matters in concern to Algonquin when we first got the paperwork. One was an agreement with Algonquin for construction of a gas pipeline. Another one was grant a license to work on city-owned land to Algonquin.
Should we take the 4 then? Why don't we take the 4 to cover ourselves?
Because we've done the 2
Yeah, we'll take
2 easements and the license.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Actually, the city clerk just brought up the fact that there was 4 different agreements and where they're both basically revolving around taking or granting and coming through us, then why don't we just take the 4, one each individual, and just to cover ourselves to make sure we cover all the bases on this one.
Thank you for noticing that, but in our legal corner over there. We have 2 easements voted upon. Let's take a roll call vote on the other 2 matters, please.
For the agreement with Algonquin Gas for construction of gas pipeline. Council Terrio?
Yes.
Council Siegel?
Yes.
Council O'Keefe?
Yes.
Council Milo?
Yes.
Council McCarthy?
Yes.
Council Legault?
Yes.
Council Fury?
Yes.
Council Panico?
Yes.
Council Epley?
Yes.
Council Sargent?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of an agreement with Algonquin Gas for construction of a gas pipeline, 10 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, 1 absent. The matter carries. On the 4th matter, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
For the grant license to work on city-owned land to Algonquin Gas. Council Terrio?
Yes.
Council Siegel?
Yes.
Council O'Keefe?
Yes.
Council Milo?
Yes.
Council McCarthy?
Yes.
Council Legault?
Yes.
Council Fury?
Yes.
Council Panico?
Yes.
Council Epley?
Yes.
Council Sargent?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter to grant the license to work on city-owned land to Algonquin Gas, 10 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, 1 absent. The matter carries. Further committee reports. Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and the City Council, February 26, 2015. The Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, to whom was referred the matter of discussing plans to help the elderly and disabled with snow removal, has considered said matter and will recommend that this matter remain in committee.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. On adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further committee reports. Councilor Siegel.
In City of Salem, the City Council, February 26, 2015, the Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, to whom was referred the matter of amending an ordinance relative to Chapter 38, Section 13, removal of snow from sidewalks, has considered said matters and would recommend that the enclosed ordinance be adopted for first passage.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
Through you, Mr. President, just to explain what's going on, under Chapter 38, Section 13, the fees that were, fines that were being charged for this, not shoveling the sidewalks were incorrect. We actually charged first offense $25, then $75 for second offense, and $100 for third and subsequent. After doing some review, we weren't in line with the Mass General laws, and the actual new fines are still going to be 25 for the first offense and 50 for each subsequent offense thereafter.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. Any further discussion? Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm in favor of the overall proposed ordinance. But I would seek to have one amendment to the ordinance, and that would be to seek a retroactive application back to January 1 of 2015, basically at the beginning of the year, so that if anyone has been fined under the old rules, that they can get a reimbursement back from the city for any overpayment that they've been making.
Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, I don't have a problem with that. I would accept that friendly recommendation. Anyone that paid over $50, where the city was in violation of the Mass General laws, so they shouldn't have had to pay that.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. So, as a friendly amendment, we'll vote on the amendment first. On the motion to make the change in fines retroactive to January 1st, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. On adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further committee reports. Councilor Siegel.
Where are we now? City of Salem and City Council, February 26, 2015. The Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, to whom was referred the matter of 5 taxi operator hearings, has considered said matter and would recommend the following. Ramon Espinal, that his taxi operator license be granted. Jose Fabian, that his taxi operator license be granted with the following condition, that if there's one more moving violation, then his license will be suspended. Adonis Diaz, that his taxi operator license be denied. Camilo Devani, remain in committee and be invited to another meeting. And Sandy Jacques Gill, remain in committee and be invited to another meeting.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
No discussion.
Any further discussion? On adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further committee reports. Councilor Siegel.
City of Salem and the City Council, February 26, 2015. The Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of a home rule petition for an additional liquor license for Cinema World, located at 355 Highland Ave, has considered said matter and will recommend adoption by roll call vote.
Acceptance of the report. All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion. Councilor Siegel.
This was Cinema World, who's looking to build a cinema slash bowling area with a food establishment. Has come before the City Council and asked for a home rule petition because currently there are no liquor license out in the open market to purchase. So we had them in. We did want to go over liquor licenses, but unfortunately nobody from the licensing board made it to that meeting, although they were invited. With that said, we did take a vote to refer this to committee for a full vote, and it did pass out of ordinance, license, and legal.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. Any further discussion? Being none, Councilor Sargent. Councilor O'Keefe, would you please come up here?
Yes. Oh, you want to speak to it? Come right out. Oh, yeah. Councilor Sargent, Arthur Sargent III.
Thank you, Councilor O'Keefe. My opposition to this, as you all know, has to do with the zoning and the rules, and that I feel they should be located as per the rules made by the committee in the B5 zone. I did some research on some of the cities that have these home rule petitions. Peabody, for instance, has it in their downtown as we do, and they have a second place on North Shore Mall. If we were to have someplace like Centennial Park, Cummings Center in Beverly, or something like Shetland went a different way, that could possibly be a second place in Salem. I strongly oppose them all around the city. I don't think the state ever recommended for things to be spread around the city or have that possibility. And I truly believe that once we leave the B5 zone, we've opened a Pandora's box. We've opened ourselves up for a lot of issues, people comparing one to another, possibly lawsuits for treating people differently if we allow one and not the other one. And I think there's great order to what we've done. We've created what was mandated, a more vibrant downtown. This is not a maybe. We were asked to do this, and it was a maybe about 8 years ago. We succeeded. Just as Hanover Street is in the north end, we have Hanover Square, from Tavern in the Square to the waterfront to the Hawthorne Hotel back to Rockefellers. People don't come to Salem anymore just to go to a certain restaurant. That's good when you have that. But they come here to dine. Just as when I go to Hanover Street in the north end, I never go to a restaurant. I just go there. I'm going to find one. People now come to Salem because they know they'll find some place. They don't come looking for one certain place because there are so many good places. It's a huge success story, but I don't believe it was meant to be spread around the whole city. You know, I was driving, this project is going to take and make our most difficult street even more difficult. No matter how many studies you do, no matter how many lights you put in, the time to move along Highland Avenue is going to be adversely affected by this. And it's going to affect customers as well as residents alike. People going to work, people going to soccer with their kids are now going to have to, when this is done, are going to have to leave earlier. I feel strongly about that. It's also going to affect quality of life that we can't even foresee. People that live along Barnes Road are going to go from having a wooded area behind them, and they can come home from work and sit in their backyard and nothing much is going on after 5 o'clock, to having this place with a 300-car parking lot that's for 2,000 seats of a theater, which is, of course, not many. I think the parking will go off into the neighborhood. But also, people will have lights from this area in their backyard now. And once a liquor license is given, along with it comes the ability to open until 1 o'clock in the morning. And as I see in my neighborhood, when 1 o'clock in the morning happens, people don't go home at 1 o'clock. Now comes cleanup. Now comes employees leaving at 1:30, 2 o'clock after doing their work afterwards. You can't just leave a place like this or any restaurant. You have to do your work afterwards. Then comes the street sweeper at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Then comes the dumpster to lift up a 2-ton piece of metal full of trash 20 feet in the air and drop it to 10 feet into the truck. There's an adverse effect on your sleeping. Kind of an unscheduled alarm clock. Believe me, I know this from experience. All those different things that those neighbors can't foresee are going to happen with this. And I feel, you know, that it's going to be difficult for them. And I truly feel that when this project is over, we're going to see the final result of this is going to be for sale signs along Barnes, Ravenna, and those places. And people have said about other projects, somebody else will buy the house. Well, that somebody else isn't the people we know and love. Whether they grew up in Salem for generations, or we were lucky enough to get them from places like Medford, Malden, Arlington. Should we be lucky enough to get them, we should want to keep them as strongly as we want to keep the business. They shouldn't have to visit their parents in Malden, Medford, and their grandchildren in Groveland and Georgetown after their kids move to another town or after they move. I don't feel that's right and proper. And also, with this, we're giving a license to a vacant lot. And we decided not to even do that in the downtown. This isn't, we can't even be for sure that this land has been bought yet. The project hasn't been built. Giving it a liquor license adds value to this, and it allows the possibility for a flip. There's no certainty that this is going to be built, but this person is going to have a liquor license that can be sold not by itself, but as part of a project, which would make that more valuable. And let us not forget Lowe's. We did a zoning change, not just for Lowe's, but it affected 35 or 40 parcels in this city. We never met anybody from Lowe's. We had meeting after meeting about zoning changes for Lowe's, when really it was a text amendment that affected some 30-something parcels. Salem Oil and Grease was one that was mostly affected by this, come to find out, with the PUD and the business park. And we never ever met anybody from Lowe's. They never came in here and talked to us. And we changed that much zoning for them. And lo and behold, they never came to town. But we have the effects of that change for years to come. So let's not get the cart before the horse on this one. To me, I ask that this remain in committee until we know for sure that something's going to be built. Actually, I'd like to see it remain in committee till the planning board get the chance to take a look at this. And let's say they look at this and say, you have a 2,000-seat theater, then you have a bowling alley, then you have the sports bar area, then you have different kind of children's, as Chuck E. Cheese birthday parties going on. You have nowhere near enough parking spaces. What happens then? You got a place with a liquor license that the planning board may not approve. So to me, this should get at least one look by the planning board, and the certainty that this land has been bought and that this place is going to be built. And we have plenty of time to wait on this. So I would ask that this remain in committee and be voted on at a later date. Thank you.
Wish you quick.
Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. Being the Ward 4 councilor, basically right across the street from Highland Avenue, this is a project that obviously impacts Ward 4, and more importantly, it impacts Salem. And I think it impacts Salem overall in a positive way, or it can impact Salem in a very positive way. We're talking about a family-owned business that have already had some successful multiplex, bowling alley, kids, family entertainment centers already in Florida and also in Lincoln, Rhode Island. And not to call out two of my colleagues, but three of us went down without telling the owners down to the Lincoln, Rhode Island facility a few weeks ago, and it was a very positive experience overall. They had some staffing issues in the restaurant area, but overall it was a very positive experience. It lived up to the bill of being a family entertainment center. It lived up to the bill of being state-of-the-art equipment and facilities. And this was in the middle of what was a vacant mall that they'd helped to basically, I think, refurbish and revitalize for that particular town in Rhode Island. And what I learned from that is that we very well could have a very good product here at the end of this process. Let's be clear, this is the beginning of a very long and arduous vetting process. Normally the city council isn't part of any of these discussions for these kinds of things, because there's, contrary to what the council president had said in his individual remarks, there will be no requirements for changing any zoning in this particular case, because it's already an entrance corridor. That's what the entrance corridors are for this kind of an enterprise. That's the way that it's been zoned for 20, 30, 40 years. So this is what it has been vacant land, but that's what it's zoned for. There will be a process. It will go through the planning board. It's going to go through the various vetting processes throughout the summer. My plan is, I hope that I can convince my Ward 3 colleague, and I think he'll do it with me, is to co-host a community forum in the middle of that, so that the public can have their opportunity to ask questions and provide feedback. Obviously, traffic's an issue. I know that. Constituents have already talked with me about that. That has to be part of the overall vetting process. It's not for here. That's not what we're about. All we're about is whether or not there's a liquor license. And the liquor license, the reason why that would be there is, if you're a parent and you have a kid who's playing in the arcade area and you want to have a beer, you can have a beer within eye shot within visual shot of your kid playing in the arcade area. Overall, this is a really positive thing. We're right at the beginning of the process. Let's have it go through the process. Let's pass this on first passage. Is it first passage tonight, or is it where we're passing? I don't remember in terms of procedure whether we have to come back for a second round. But let's pass it tonight. Let's begin the process, because this is when you're asking for a home rule petition, that has to go down to the State House for approval, and that takes months to do. We don't need to muck up the works here in what is really sort of a side issue, which is the home rule petition and the liquor license. The side issue for the overall package, which is what is essentially fallow ground right now that can bring in commercial tax base, which will help to lower further increases in taxes for our city residents. It's going to help provide, we've been told, between 80 to 100 jobs for local folks. We've already had folks say, like, can we put a premium on having Salem residents and their kids especially be folks that can be employed here? This is overall a win-win situation, to borrow a phrase from one of my colleagues. But let's put it through the process. Let's hear what the residents have to say, what the developers have to say. It's right at the infant stages here. Let's have it go through the process, and let's pass this home rule petition.
Councilor Fury.
This is an exciting opportunity for the city of Salem to take advantage of on an entrance corridor. Our downtown is no longer the downtown that we had back in the 40s and 50s. I just recently finished a book called Salem Through Time by Jerome Curley and Nelson Dion, talking about downtown Salem. And downtown Salem, for many people my age or older, would be here in this area. But in 1954 to 1958, we had our own big dig in Salem. We had the depot torn down, the old Salem train depot torn down, and we had Washington Street for the railroad to go down to the train station, where the MBTA garage is. That was then. Now our downtown is in de facto reality here, all the way down up to Walmart and to the Lynn Line. People go shopping, DeMoulas, Shaw's, all the way down. That's our downtown, the 21st century. This is the 20th century downtown they talked about. We have to think about Salem in the 21st century. This is an entrance corridor that's deeming for vitality and development, and this is going to be a good catalyst for future development. I see people going to Chuck E. Cheese and Danvers, going to cinemas in different parts of the North Shore. We have a great cinema complex here in Salem. Now we're going to have more choices, more variety on our entrance corridor. Bowling, which we don't really have anymore in Salem. Bowling, theaters, like a Chuck E. Cheese facility there. So our entrance corridor of Highland Avenue and Essex Street is going to be a vital epicenter. We want Salem to be a 24-hour town, 365 days a year. Instead of going to Danvers and other cities and towns, let them come to Salem. And this is one opportunity. Having this liquor license would be a catalyst to make sure this development is an exciting opportunity. I can remember being, a few years ago, that parcel of territory, parcel of land, very difficult, very challenging piece of property near Barnes Circle and so on, that area. We were thinking of putting a school there, the Ballard School. That didn't develop, fortunately, did not develop. The Ballard School went to the Salem High School complex, where it is now on Salem property. So that type of property right there is very difficult, challenging area to build on. So this is an exciting opportunity to make Highland Avenue even more vital and exciting, and along with the downtown area here. So it's exciting. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Fury. Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Being the Ward 3 councilor, and this is right dead set in the middle of, actually a little on the left of my ward, I do have a lot to say about this. I believe Councilor Epley brought up some good points, but I believe Councilor Sargent as well brought up some very important points which we need to look at. And those points are, as Councilor Epley said, we don't have much to do with this. We have just a liquor license. That's the only thing we control. Once we give up that control and leverage, we've got nothing. We leave it up to the planning board and the site review. And it's out of our hands, but we're the ones that have to listen to the constituents. We're the ones who stand up for the constituents. It's not the planning board, it's not the site review board. I don't see a problem. I like this development. I think it's a little too big. The plans they showed us the other day, Councilor Sargent and I had this conversation this afternoon. We have possible seating of 1,941 seats in the movie theaters. Okay? That's just in the movie theaters. That's without people in the bowling lanes, people in the arcade, people in the restaurant, the employees, and there's only 319 parking spots. So if they had premieres and all those were filled without talking about anything else but the movie theaters, you'd have to have 6 people per car to park in that parking lot. Clearly not enough. If you had half that place filled, you'd only have 3 people per car. And that's just the movie theaters. And I'm just adding up what the form they gave us and counting it up. With that said, clearly there's a break point for every development. Every developer has a money cutoff point. And when this goes to site review, you know, I know myself and Councilor Epley are very concerned with traffic. We would like to see a light there. They have to go to Mass DOT. They have to speak to them. In conversations over the years with the administration, you know, the number that's been thrown around is about $250,000 or more, because we've been trying to get a light at the corner of First and Swampscott Road for years now. So, you know, that's an extra potential $250,000 to the developer, because we're not going to eat that. They want to put this here. Clearly, we can't have 2 movie theaters coming out at once, you know, 5 or 10 minutes apart, a 400 seat movie theater and a 200. You got 600 people coming out saying 200 cars only to take a right. There's got to be some type of left to go to Lynn. Otherwise, you're going to have everyone cutting through our neighborhoods, and we're going to be ones fielding the calls. The only way to turn to go to Lynn if you're coming out of that place is to go up, make a U-turn at the Marlboro Road light, or cut through Irvin and backtrack and end that light. And the only way to take a left is probably cut by Pulio's at that light and through the side streets. And again, it's very important when I get back to leverage. Since I've been on this board, we've given up leverage on everything. I sat in this chamber a couple years ago. I asked to put penalties in if the senior center wasn't built in time, because we had the leverage. Didn't happen. It's not built. We're not getting any penalties. There have been other issues like that. Once we give up leverage, we've got nothing. I'm not saying no to this project. I think this project can be a really good project, but home rule petition only takes a few months to go through the state. It's not going to take a year. It takes a few months to go through the state. Let them go to the planning board. Let's see, it may not be viable. It may not be financially viable for them to even do this. If they got to come up for $250,000 to put a light on, if Mass DOT allows it, and then looking at their plans, they got to scale back, and instead of 1,941 seats, they can only put in 1,000 seats because they're scaling down. It may not be feasible for this company to do it. Hopefully it is, but it just may not be. And if that's the case, what we're doing is we're creating a liquor license and opening up Pandora's box, because in a home rule petition, the liquor license stay with the property. Okay? So we were in a meeting the other night, and many councilors in this meeting stated, when it was brought up that if we do this for one company coming in that wants a liquor license, it's not going to be the same, because we get to vet that company that comes in. But we lose that. If we give them a liquor license, they decide not to do it, but that liquor license is at this location, any other company could come into that location, and we don't get to vet that. So what we said the other night was incorrect. With that said, I'm not opposed to this project, but I think it doesn't do the city, the constituents, or us any good to give up our leverage. No, let's wait a couple months. Let them have some preliminary talks with the planning board and the site plan review. Again, once we get the okay and they're going to do it, if everything's fine and they're going to do their traffic stuff and the neighbors are going to be fine, I have no problem with that. I think this is a really good project in the right scheme of things. But if they're not going to put a light in there and you want 400 cars, you know, potentially going through neighborhoods, I can't support that. I've told the developer that. So this isn't something new. But with that said, again, I don't see an issue with just keeping it in committee until they get to the planning board and do at least some preliminary talks. They haven't even had preliminary talks. So that's all I'm going to say on that issue.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. Councilor Torriel.
Thank you, Thank you, Mr. President. The process of us granting a home rule petition license to this location, yes, that's correct. If they don't go ahead, then they could pull out, and then they could remarket that property with the liquor license, I think with the home rule license attached, because it is titled, but as of right now, there's no any project that would have to get built there, whether or not it had that license, is still going to have to go through planning. So, and our planning board does a very good job of looking at projects and evaluating the pros and cons of issues associated with it, and trying to take these and mitigate and provide for traffic issues, plan for, and I have good faith that they will take a look at this project seriously and come up with conditions that are reasonable, that will alleviate issues that could come up with this. I don't see them failing to do that. So that said, I don't have any problem with allowing this license request to go through, because again, for us, I don't see it so much about us having or requiring leverage. Yet the one thing we do control here is that license request itself. But we have boards with expertise in these matters that know how to plan for traffic, know how to plan for design, know how to make sure lighting plans are unobtrusive to neighbors. I know I've been through several projects now with the planning board that have been built in or around my ward or planned for my ward, and they do a terrific job with these things. So I don't have any problem with us going ahead and moving this through and then letting the planning board sit down and do the work they do so well.
Thank you, Councilor Turriello. Councilor Legault.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, I would like to clear something up here. We are not issuing a liquor license if we adopt this recommendation. We do not issue liquor licenses. We are asking the legislature to create a potential liquor license. They'll come back, they say yes. It still when it comes back from the state legislature, if they do issue it, which they probably will, then it goes to the licensing board. They issue the liquor license. If these guys don't build this facility, I don't think they're even going to bother showing up before the licensing board to ask for it, because if they do show up before the licensing board without a facility, without a building, it's not going to get issued. We do not issue licenses, liquor licenses to addresses. We issue them to buildings built at an address. If there's no building, there will be no liquor license. Let's just be very clear about that. The licensing board issues the license, we do not. We're asking for an opportunity to issue a liquor license. The licensing board will decide whether or not they get this liquor license or not us. All we're doing is creating a potential liquor license. The license board, they're not going to do that. You can shake your head. The licensing board will not issue a liquor license to a non-existing business. It just won't happen. It's not the way business is done. And if you want to talk about getting sued, I think then you'd be talking a serious lawsuit. So I'm not concerned about that. I think we need to move this on. My colleague from Ward 3 brings up some concerns about parking. I'm certainly no parking engineer, but I would think that the facility up in Danvers Cinema, the hits, not the one before the mall, they probably have about the same amount of parking spaces, maybe a few more, with a lot of other businesses related to it. I really believe that their engineers that have designed this probably have enough parking spaces there, but that is certainly worth further discussion at the other boards, which I'm sure the councilors will attend. But our concerns about issuing a liquor license that they're going to sell after not building a business, I think are unfounded and just don't exist. Thank you.
Thank you. It was my understanding that when the state issues a license, they issue it. The licensing board just kind of gives it an okay afterwards, so.
Licensing board still has to issue the license. They give it to us, they give it to the licensing board. The licensing board still has to issue it. I've been there when they've issued it.
All right. Good thing. Councilor, who's next? Councilor McCarthy, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Obviously, the concerns around traffic, well-founded, well thought out. But with regards to the home rule petition liquor license, let's be clear. A home rule petition liquor license is, this body acts whenever it does, but if it was to act tonight, it gets sent off to the state. I'm not going to sit here and comment about the state legislature, but they go through and set their calendar January into early February, and then they deal with everything that they've already got in their calendar. They're not going to deal with this, probably, if we're lucky, till sometime early in the fall, and by the time they act it and get it through all the committees and whatnot, we'll be lucky if we see it by the end of the year or the first of next year, if we start the process now. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a good faith leap. It's not about leverage. It's about taking advantage of an economic development tool that the state gave us. It's called the Home Rule Petition Liquor License. And yes, I sat on those committees. I was in the ante room when we talked about the downtown and how the B5 and how they belonged in the B5, but I don't think anyone envisioned this kind of opportunity in an entrance corridor of this magnitude to be available to us. And I think it's a positive if done right, and I think it will be on everyone's due diligence to make sure it is done right. But I think that it's a good faith leap. I mean, the gentleman was here the other night. He came up from Florida. Some councils went down to the facility in Rhode Island. I'll probably make that jaunt, but maybe with all the snow, we should go to the one in Florida, because it might be a warmer visit. But all that being said, I think it's a very positive thing, and I think that when you look at home rule petitions, liquor licenses as an economic development tool, as everything said, you know, downtown has become vibrant, and it's up to, in this case, us with this to decide, you know, if we're going beyond downtown, where those spots might be. And it's not about opening up Pandora's box. It still comes in front of us, and it still has to be zoned that way. Let's be honest. We're not asking for a zoning change here. That is zoned for that type of business, all of what they want to put in there with the liquor license. And he came in front of us and said he was looking for one. He would buy one if one was available tomorrow. So I think it's a leap of faith on this one. I don't think it's about leverage. I think it's about realizing that there's a group out there that wants to invest in Salem. They want to make a substantial investment in Salem. They want willing to do it right. They agreed to the good four ward council's request to have a community meeting. I believe at his suggestion was at the high school. They agreed to that. They didn't have to agree to it. They agreed to come in and have a sit down and say, here are the concerns, and try to work them out. I think they're very family orientated from what they say, and from what the councils that went down there spoke about, you know, the cleanliness of the place, how it was family orientated. I don't anticipate, unless maybe, you know, I think they know how to run a Cineplex better than any of us do. And, you know, we saw the seats and the sizes, depending upon the movies. I think they understand they can't have all that many people in their lobby, so they're going to start certain movies at certain times, and certain movies are going to get over, and how they schedule them. I think that's why they have as many cinemas as they do, for that flexibility. But I can't speak to that, because I don't know how to run a cinema. But I'm sure they realize how they run a cinema and how many spaces they need, and that will all get vetted out. But for the purposes of right now, tonight, it's about the home rule petition, and I think irregardless of leverage, I think it's a good leap of faith, and I think that when we bring a company like this in there, I mean, for them moving forward as they go to put their business model together, it just provides them with the ability to say, listen, we're going to be able to do all this because we have the support of the city, in this case, in this opportunity, the city council, to move forward, because the city council has said, yep, even though there isn't a license available, and you'd be willing to buy one if available, because there isn't one available, because this could be such a vital economic development for the town, we're going to allow it to move forward. So I think that's what this vote is about tonight. So if it happens tonight, fine, I'll vote for it tonight. If the will is to delay it for a month or two, I'll still vote for it in a month or two. So, thank you.
Councilor Fumiko.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I don't know who here and who at home remembers, but there used to be, about one block over, closer to the Salem train station, a grocery store, and in the basement of that grocery store was a bowling alley. I personally don't remember this, but I'm told stories. That just goes to tell us places change, they grow, areas develop, areas move out. When we talk about that home rule petitions were designed for the B5, we should say that the B5 is the downtown zone, so the downtown business zone. But however, right now, as was just talked about, our downtown has grown, it's budded. We have so many opportunities here for things to happen. What we don't have is, beyond the trolley tours, the downtown events, is family-friendly places, that there's an opportunity for my 5-year-old nephew to go and try to bowl, or use a thing like this that they have to bowl down. But also there's the opportunity for, well, my friends and I to bowl, but also to go grab a bite and then go into the theater. What the owner did tell us the other night, this isn't an opportunity to go and take your beer into the theater. That's not allowed. We don't want adults downing a few drinks and then going in to watch the SpongeBob movie and the like. This is an opportunity to go out, have a bite to friends, and do something else. This is also an opportunity for something else just to do in the city in general, whether it's a Salem State University students, whether it's my parents who want to take the nephew someplace, or something else. That area right now, although I'm sad I will no longer be able to buy my Christmas tree there, it's an area that needs to be developed. We need to branch outside of the downtown. We need to have these different opportunities in different neighborhoods. Back in the day, every neighborhood had their neighborhood bar, whether it was the Knights of Columbus or it's currently the Moose. There's all these little pockets near neighborhoods that gave people an opportunity to do something. But now this is an opportunity for us to expand, to develop, to grow. This is the first step in the process. Our planning board will do a really great job of looking this over. my big push is the complete streets, to think about the cars, but also the bicyclists, also the walkers, because not everyone has the opportunity to have a car. But this will also give an opportunity for employment, an opportunity for the tax base. And our business tax is higher than the residential tax. So hopefully this will help the residential tax go down a little bit more as well. But I'm in full support of this going forward tonight as well.
Council Fury.
Yes, and last time I appreciate the opportunity for the second time. Economic opportunity is critical to the future of the city of Salem. This is an election year for all of us. And as I have done over the last 18 years as city councilor in this chamber, go door to door. And the hue and cry throughout the city of Salem is more business, more development. How do we get our taxes down? We need to get our taxes down by bringing more businesses in. And this is an opportunity to bring more businesses in on the entrance corridor. So I think giving it the opportunity, there'll be opportunities to vet by residents, other people, different community meetings and so on. But we should give it the green light tonight. Give that opportunity of saying Salem is business friendly and an economic revitalization for the city. This is one more opportunity to make Salem a great city, an amazing city. And I think this opportunity is too good to refuse tonight. So I think we should give it the green light to go ahead. Thank you.
Council Siegel.
Thank you for the second opportunity, Mr. President. Just to touch on a few things. Well, the best way to stop lower taxes is to stop spending. I know in the 9 years I've been here, my taxes have doubled. My property tax, clearly the budget has been growing exponentially the last 8-9 years. With that said, again, I'm not opposed to this project. I would just ask that we delay it. If we can get something from the developer. The developer's a great guy. I met him. He's a nice guy, him and his father. I believe they're going to do a wonderful job. But being the counselor up there, I can't support something unless I know there's going to be a light there and the traffic mitigation is going to get done. I cannot support something that has the potential to put 400 to 500 cars, cutting through a gas station or cutting through a back street. I would, that's on my side. The other side of the street, which is in Ward 4, is going to have the same problem. There's no way to get over there. If you're coming down Highland Ave from downtown, there's no left-hand turn into this place. That's all I'm asking for. If I could get a commitment from the developer that he'll work with Mass DOT, we don't even know if Mass DOT will allow him to put a light there. And I think, yes, tax revenue is great, and growth is great, and I'm all for that. But again, my biggest concern is, let's not forget about the people that live around here. We have streets on residential neighborhoods on both sides there. And these people are clearly going to be impacted. Now, if there's a light there, that will mitigate a tremendous amount, and that's all I'm asking for. So that's why I ask if we could, I'm not saying hold this off for 6 months, but 1 or 2 months, let's reach out at least to DOT and see if it's something that's doable. And that's all I ask the council to do. Thank you, Mr. President.
Council O'Keefe, one more time. Well, Council O'Keefe.
Or do you want to speak? I'll go up.
No, you can go.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. My doctor's on Highland Avenue, right next to the veterinary place up there. And to get in there, I've got to go to almost to Bond Circle and wait till the light changes and then make a tremendous left turn around to come in and then try to, with the cars coming from Lynn, to slow down so I can make a right turn into the physicians group complex there. And so where is this light? Can the councilor tell me where the light will be? It will just, well, I'd rather have the Ward 3 councilor tell me, if you know a councilor from Ward 4.
Yep.
Where's the light going to be?
I would suggest that they put the light right where the entrance and exit of the movie theater are. And it can be done because in my hometown they did it. Showcase Cinema went in and they did it. And what they did was they had a long driveway to take the cars off the main road, because I believe it was the state highway in my hometown. They took the cars came, so it wasn't a backup. There's not going to be a backup on Highland Ave. It will come down a long street and circle around in the back. And then when they come out, there will be a light to either go right or go across the street and take a left. Now, I can't tell you exactly where it's going to be because they're still designing and they have to go through site review and site plan. But I would suggest that if you don't have one, that's where you're going to create major problems.
Council O'Keefe, are you finished?
Well, they're going to have to widen Highland Avenue, I suspect, on either side to put an extra lane. How are they going to stack the cars to make a right turn to go into this place? I mean, people will not be able to get in a Barnes Circle if that.
Right.
I mean, I agree. I think we should act on it tonight and have the council from Ward 3 and 4 work on what's going on here. I mean, I was up there the other day, and it was awful, terrible, what they do is go in through the Irving's gas station. I got in there, and boy, I got tangled up. And then they try to come out up through Swampscott Road, and then go up Traders Way, and then come out Traders Way, First Street. Am I got my streets right, Councilor? They go on Swampscott to Traders Way, then go up to First, then go left.
Swampscott First to Traders.
And then if they look ahead and they say, oh, I'm going to go right, and then they go right and go down in front of Burger King, and then go left, and you should see these manipulations that are going on at this intersection. In the meantime, there's all kinds of ambulances, what have you, coming at Marlborough Road and Highland Avenue, which is a disaster. Positively disaster, that whole area up there. I mean, but I think we should go, Councilor, I sympathize with the council, but I think we should go forward tonight and just work out all of these other matters, because let's get going. We need this business. We need these jobs. We need the taxes.
You all set, Councilor O'Keefe?
Now, come up, sir. You want to?
No, you all said I was going to go last. Councilor Rupp, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just very briefly, and just in response to the good Ward 7 councilor, I don't have the answer as to what the proper traffic study should be, or that's the beauty of having traffic engineers. You know, I don't have any talent. That's why I'm both a lawyer and a politician. So instead, I'm going to rely upon the actual folks who know what they're doing in traffic to do this. The developer has hired a traffic engineer. They've already committed, the developer has already committed to pay for the city's independent, at our selection, our own traffic engineer to look over that product, to see, for that peer review, to look over that particular product. And meanwhile, this is going to be all vetted by our expert, folks in the planning department, the design review board, et cetera. Again, the only reason why we're here is just because there aren't any liquor licenses available in the open market. Normally, this would not be even before us. So let's pass this tonight. Let's move it around. And I frankly think that there is a consensus, at least among the vast majority of folks on the council, that we can get this passed tonight and move this along.
Thank you, Councilor Epley. Councilor Milo. Councilor O'Keefe, briefly.
Councilor Legault, I think, misstated a point a couple of minutes ago about this address is 355 Highland Avenue. It's not a building. It's an address, not a building.
Right.
To you, Mr. President, to respond, that was exactly my point. They will not issue a liquor license if there's not a building there, or a building in process. The only way they're going to get this license is if they have something being built, if they're actually going to go forward with this. The licensing board will not just issue a license to an address with no business there. Won't happen. There'll have to be something in progress. I don't think I misstated it at all. If these guys don't get their licenses, they won't get the liquor license until they have a business to assign it to, is what I'm saying. The licensing board will hold on to that petition until they have a business to issue the license to, a physical structure.
That's good. Councilor O'Keefe.
The legislature will have authorized the granting of the license, and the licensing board will have it in hand.
And they don't have to issue it until they're ready.
Correct, but they have it in hand.
Yes, but they will not issue it until they're ready to issue it, Councilor.
Thank you. Councilor Milo.
Thank you, Mr. President. The councilor from Ward 4 made my point, or made the point that I was going to bring up, is that we wouldn't be having this discussion if there was a license on the open market. We wouldn't have any leverage. But no matter what, whether we, put this in committee or we vote for it to send it forward tonight, none of that, I don't think, absolves us from responsibilities as councilors to then follow the process, because I have faith in the process, follow the process very closely, keep everybody's feet to the fire. I live on Marlborough Road, so I have a real personal interest in this whole project. I think it's a, it's a great proposal. I think it has great chance for success. I also know from speaking with the principal that they value their assets. They just put $1 million into their Vero Beach property to update everything. I can't imagine, this has been going on for 10 years, I think, for them, we learned the other night. I can't imagine that they're gonna come in, they're gonna build this huge complex that nobody can get to. So I'm sure, or at least I feel, that I have faith that going forward through these processes, this principal will work with us, will work with DOT, will work with whomever they have to work with to make this a success, to make it accessible, and to be a good neighbor, because I think they will be a good neighbor. I know I'm going to be looking for them to be a good neighbor. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Mello. Councilor O'Keefe, please. I'll try to be brief and follow.
Sergeant, Councilor Sergeant.
I mean, traffic-wise, I began a new job when I was riding around Chelsea and Everett at 1, 2 o'clock. And boy, Highland Avenue looks like a lazy side street compared to Chelsea and Everett around 2 o'clock. But in my lifetime, Salem has been, as far as our day-to-day living, it's as if we've been picked up and slowly moved a little bit closer to Boston with each development. Traffic-wise, congestion, those things. I'm not trying to get us to be the Salem we were 20 years ago or 40 years ago. But what I'm trying to do is kind of keep us from getting no worse than we are now. But boy, in quality of life sometimes, and in congestion and in traffic, we've been moved closer to places like Boston. It's just the way it is, seeing that traffic the way it is in Boston. And the notion, it's a great notion that we get more taxes from commercial development. Well, you know, every commercial development comes with services, right? You don't charge someone to come to the party without feeding them and without cleaning up after them, okay? They're paying their money, but they're getting their money also. With all the development along Highland Avenue, we're supposed to lower our taxes. I love hearing the term, this is going to lower our taxes. What development has ever lowered our taxes? What development has ever stopped our taxes from going up? And sometimes from going up to maximum every year. I mean, it just doesn't happen. Everything comes with services. And if you think that the commercial somehow makes a profit, look at a place like the power plant. Of course, they say $3, $4 million with 100, 200 cars a day. You know, 100, 150 employees. Compare that to what this place will pay with a possibility of 3, 4, 5,000 cars a day. And do the cost analysis on that. Shetland, you know, a power plant at Shetland or something like that, fine. That's the kind of development that I envisioned along Highland Avenue as a commercial corridor. Not something that was going to bring this amount of traffic and these amount of cars and compromising to get a liquor license, those kind of things, you know. So I don't see it generating that kind of money. And here's the last kicker. A couple of years ago, we bonded $10 million for water and sewer improvements on Highland Avenue. If that didn't eat up all the so-called profit we were going to make from all the commercial development along Highland Avenue for the last 50 years, what did? And the state kicks in some of that. But you know what? Every one of us that works pays state taxes also. Federal government helps out, we pay federal taxes too. Right? There's cost with all of this. And Highland Avenue is going to have to be widened, decel lanes, these things, not just because of this, but because of the other things going along that have happened through the years. So if somehow this is going to lower our taxes, boy, would I be happy. But in reality, I don't see that happen. Thank you. I suppose we move the question.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. President.
Councilor O'Keefe.
For the purple fridge, you brought up a good point about the $1 million or $10 million water project, correct?
Yes.
Part of that project was the construction of an elevated water storage tank at the end of Salem. So we didn't have to run a pumping station constantly every time somebody opens a faucet up off of beyond that pumping station on Highland Avenue, right by Wilson Road. They'd have a storage. That water storage. The tank is yet to be built. And that's part of the project. Yet to be built. And every time they open up the faucets up there, the pumps run 24 hours a day because there's no storage. There's no water. That big tank up at Gallows Hill is not for Highland Avenue, it's for the rest of the city. I'm going to find out, I think Councilor Legault is wrong, because if you have a food truck and you're parked in front, I think it came up in Boston, if you have a food truck and they want to sell beer and it stands in the street, that's an address. It's not a building. A food truck is a mobile van, and they sell liquor out of a food truck. So the license goes with that address.
Was that true?
Not a building. Food trucks is a truck. We'll find out, Councilor. I don't want to debate it till we get...
Thank you. Moving along.
He may be right. He probably is. Maybe I'm wrong.
On the motion to move this to committee?
We're going to have food
trucks. Are we all set
trucks.
on that?
Okay.
All right.
Somebody make that motion?
We haven't had...
Somebody made the motion to move this to committee.
We're still at adopt a recommendation.
No? I believe
I don't know if I made a motion.
You did not.
The committee report, Mr. Chair.
I made the motion.
Was it seconded?
It hasn't been seconded yet.
I'll second your motion,
Thank you.
but I don't know where we are on this.
Accepted the committee report.
We accepted the committee.
Accept the committee report. As I was speaking first, I made a motion to move this back to committee. And now, if not... If I could, please.
Councilor Sargent.
I'd like to make a motion...
Remarks?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion to move this back to committee for further study. Thank you.
All in favor of referring this back to committee? All in favor? You asked for the vote?
It's been seconded by Councilor Siegel.
I'll second it.
Remarks on the referring it back to committee, Councilor?
I think all the remarks have been made already.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. On the matter to move this back to committee for further review?
Roll call, please.
Roll call. Do I have three hands? Sure. Roll call vote? Okay, we'll have a roll call vote. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Terrio?
No.
Council Siegel?
Yes.
Council O'Keefe?
No.
Council Milo?
No.
Council McCarthy?
No.
Council Legault?
No.
Council Fury?
No.
Council Finico?
No.
Council Epley?
No.
Council Sargent?
Yes. Matter carry? On the motion by Councilor Sargent to move this back to committee, 10 councilors voting, two yeas, 8 nays, 1 absent. The matter does not carry.
Mr.
Councilor O'Keefe.
I move for immediate reconsideration. I hope will not prevail.
Take up the next vote.
Well, my colleagues are saying no, but somebody can commit tomorrow morning.
You could do 1,000 votes.
Take the vote.
Highly unlikely. Would you?
Take the next vote.
Yeah.
Okay,
Take the next
that-
vote.
Accept the...
All right, next one.
Okay, now.
With a question, Mr. President.
On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion, hopefully none.
No.
On adoption of the recommendation, are we doing?
Roll call vote, Mr. President.
Call vote.
3 hands on adoption of the recommendation by roll call vote. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Terrio?
Yes.
Council Siegel?
No.
Council O'Keefe?
Yes.
Council Milo?
Yes.
Council McCarthy?
Yes.
Council Legault?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Council Finico?
Yes.
Council Epley?
Yes.
Council Sargent?
No. Thank you. On the matter of a home rule petition for Cinema World, 355 Highland Avenue, that it be granted. 10 councilors voting, 8 yeas, 2 nays, 1 absent. The matter carries.
Mr. President?
Councilor O'Keefe.
I move for immediate reconsideration. I hope it will not prevail.
Councilor O'Keefe moves for immediate reconsideration in the hope that it does not prevail. All those in favor? All those opposed?
Opposed.
I was in favor. The matter carries. Thank you. Now, moving on. I believe there are no further committee reports.
No, one more.
I got one more.
Go.
City of Salem and the City Council.
Okay.
Page
Is that's
It's on page
We go
10.
page 10.
page 10? Okay, further committee reports, Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, February 26, 2015. The Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of creating an ordinance for seasonal and home rule petition liquor licenses using the established rules and guidelines, has considered said matter and would recommend that this matter remain in committee.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the matter carries. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion?
No discussion.
Being none, thank you. On the motion for adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the matter carries. Thank you. Communication from the mayor, no, communication from city officials, being none. Petitions.
We have a petition from Verizon and Mass Electric to relocate 5 jointly owned poles on Grove Street.
Councilor Gerard, who will fill in for Councilor Torrio, filling in for Councilor Gerard.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. President. I move for approval.
Under discussion.
No discussion really required. This is these are being moved to another location on the same parcel, so we don't have to have a public hearing either.
Thank you for filling in, Councilor Torrio. On the motion to grant, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the matter carries. Further petitions.
Held from the last meeting, the request from BNS Fitness to hold a road race, the Black Cat, and use of city streets on Saturday, March 7, 2015.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for denial.
Councilor McCarthy moves for denial. Under discussion.
Thank you. As we're all aware, the snow has not melted. Streets are still in very difficult condition. And actually, I had the head of Park and Rec, Karen Parton, reach out to BNS, and they were fully understanding that there was probably no way that they could have 1,000 people run down the streets of Salem in a week or so. It is my understanding, though, that they are planning to try to move the date, but they'll have to bring another petition in for the change of date. They're trying to figure that out. And they hate to be I predicted that the potholes would start to appear, and unfortunately, in the 2 weeks since the last meeting, they have started to appear. So I do believe our road crews, I noticed they filled a couple today, because there was a couple I've been avoiding on Derby Street that were filled today, which is nice. But I think they're going to be out a long time trying to fill a lot of potholes. So it'll be interesting to see what date they try to come back with, and to see to have our DPS and police department weigh in, as well as we forget, this runs over to Marblehead. I mean, we could approve it over here. I don't know what's going on over in Marblehead, because it runs out there. I can't imagine their streets are any better than ours, especially since you look at the route and how far they're running out. So we might, when they bring back this application, just because it's sensitive with regards to the weather, with regards to the snow, that we have our DPS director reach out to them as well to make sure that this event can go off as best it can.
Yeah.
So, but at this point, the race will not be going off on the date that's listed, and I know they'll be coming back in, but it's a question of when, so.
Have to get them to carry shovels.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Vico.
Thank you, Mr. President. I know we are putting this through to denial, but I do have some questions with BNS, and I know it's not our jurisdiction to go over their rules and regulations, but I had received contact about their policy in regards to no refunds to people that sign up for the races, even if an event is canceled. And I just have a little bit of a problem with that. I'd like them to maybe give us some communication in regards to that as well. For this particular event, they had started advertising and signing up runners prior to approval. And now with this policy is indeed true that these people aren't going to receive refunds, I have a little bit of a problem with that. So I'm hoping that they can communicate a little bit to us about that.
Thank you, Councilor Famico. Councilor McCarthy.
I have a big problem with that. I don't have a little problem with that. I have a big problem with that. I mean, let's be 100% honest. There's 3 or 4 other applications that are in front of us that are for road races that are way down the road. I mean, they are a company that manages road races. They manage a lot of road races within the city, and they come in front of us all the time, and they know the procedures. And it's my understanding from talking to Park and Rec, I believe this application came through to Park and Rec Department. I don't want to speak for them, but I believe it was early January. That's still only from when it's happening and for approval and the whole process. Maybe the process becomes that we're going to set a time limit on when these applications have to be in front of us so they can plan out. Because the fact that they were advertising and marketing this race, and I fully understand, if they brought this application in front of us in November, December, it would have been approved, and we would have been talking about how we're going to work with the police department to rework this, reschedule it. The fact that they brought it back in, they brought it into us late, that's on them. So, as far as I'm concerned, if they have a policy about no refunds because the event got canceled and they marketed this without coming to us first to make sure they had their approvals, it's on them. So I have a big problem with this, and I will be very interested to find out. I mean, I can't get into their personal policies, but I have a problem with this particular one because if this event was marketed and promoted prior to them getting approval, and I understand it, with one thing to market in a road race calendar because you anticipate us approving it because this is an event that has occurred before, but the fact that they went out there and started actively putting out applications and accepting money before getting approval for it, I have a problem with that.
Thank you, Councilor McCarthy. Councilor Legault.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, to address some of those concerns. I'm not an expert on road races, but I did direct some road races for the Salem Y for a few years. The no refund policy is kind of a standard in the business. It doesn't necessarily mean you're not ever getting a refund. Generally, what they do first, especially an organization that organizes multiple races, is they offer you a deal down the road on one of the other races. Perhaps you're going to sign up for one in August or September or December. And they say no refunds, but in a situation like this, I believe that they will offer either enrollment in another race or a refund. I'll be happy to reach out to them on behalf of the council. I'm friendly with them on that. And if that is an issue, if it turns out that there is no refund policy, period, we will be having committee meetings on the road races this summer. I'm in the process of gathering my resources and my information so I know what direction I want to go in, and this will definitely be something that we'll address. But if it's, I will be happy to reach out to them tomorrow on this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Legault. Any further discussion? Being none, on the motion for denial, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. The race is denied. Further petitions.
And a request from DNS to hold a road race for Kevin O'Boyle 5K and use of city streets on Saturday, August 22nd, 2015.
Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for approval.
Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a repeat of a race that they've had in the previous year. This one is held out of Salem State. It's the day after the Derby Street. They do it on the day after the Derby Street Mile. It's a pretty nice event that goes through a neighborhood that doesn't get that many races through it, which is, I think, something we've tried to encourage. And it's done to, if I recall, this one is done to raise money for the Wounded Warriors Foundation. And I think it's, I enthusiastically support it.
Thank you, Councilor Turiel. Any further discussion? Being none, on the motion for approval, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further petitions.
We have a request from DNS Fitness to hold a road race, the Wicked Y2 Marathon, and use of city streets on Saturday, September 19, 2015.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this application be granted.
Under discussion.
On discussion, as you can see, we're in February. This application is for September, so they obviously plan their events well out in advance, so I think the last application was just a glitch. The only other issue I have is, I was looking at the previous one, is, I look one thing up real, I have a problem. The one thing I have a problem with, because I believe it was this road race, the one that was last year, and when you look at the, please explain your plan to bring your waste or recycle, and their answer is curbside. I have a problem with that. If you're going to run an event in the city, and I believe it was this event last year, I'll have to check, because I took a couple pictures, is they cleaned up very well after their event. It was beautifully cleaned up. They left a pile. And with this, I believe, is this the one that starts at Dead Horse Beach? It was right by Dead Horse Beach, right in the Willows. They cleaned everything up because it finishes, they do like this, when you finish, you come through the things, and it ends right there in the old, it's the soccer field now, the old softball field. And they cleaned up beautifully. And they left a pile for someone to clean up. And I immediately drove by it, because I called and I said, who's picking this up? Oh, well, the DPS picks it up. I go, no, DPS does not pick this up. Because that isn't on, it isn't on this isn't a city-run event. This is an event being run by a private firm. They come in front of us to authorize the use of city streets, and in this case, they have to go in front of parking rate and get approval for the use of the Willows. No, they can either pick the recycles up and take them to recycle fibers, or they can pick the trash up and take it someplace, or they can hire somebody to pick it up. But it isn't going to come on us to pick it up. I just want to make that clear. And I'll make sure that follows through, because I don't like that line in here, and curbside isn't going to be an option from now on in these applications.
Are we making that as a condition of the approval?
Yes.
Councilor Legault.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, I was just going through the paperwork, and there is an email here from
I had that conversation
Steves to Karen Partnan, and they have decided to hire DPW for trash removal.
Thank you very much. Thank you for clearing that up. Councilor Turiel.
My point was just made for me.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Being none. On the motion to approve this race, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further petitions.
We have a request from Emily and Patrick Conlon to hold road race the Salem Dog Tag 5K and use of city streets on Saturday, November 7, 2015.
Councilor Famico.
It's actually Councilor Turiel's work.
Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for approval.
On the discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, this is another race that's being put on by our Veterans Department here, and another benefit run, and also through our neighborhood. And the date of this one in early November, which is a great time to do this. So again, I fully support it.
Any further discussion? Councilor Milo.
Thank you, Mr. President, through you. I'm going to abstain from this vote because I see that one of the charities that's going to benefit from the race is the student vets at Salem State. I would love to be able to vote for it, but I'm going to abstain.
Understood. Thank you. Any further discussion? On approval of this race? All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Just with all these races, didn't anybody notice that the Iditarod was canceled in Alaska for lack of snow? I'm expecting to see that before us if this keeps up. Thank you. Further petitions.
We have license applications for public guide and taxi operator.
Councilor Siegel.
Move that they be granted.
Under discussion.
No discussion.
Thank you.
Tag day?
Unfinished business.
Waive the reading. All set?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
On the motion to grant these licenses, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further petitions.
We have a tag day application.
Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move they refer to Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs.
Under discussion.
General application. No discussion.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. On the motion to refer these to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further petitions.
We have one drain layer contract operator license application.
Councilor Siegel.
I move that it be granted.
Under discussion.
No discussion, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. Any further discussion? Being none, on the motion to move for granted, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further petitions.
We have a list of claims.
Councilor Siegel waives the reading. Councilor Siegel.
Yes, Mr. President, I do waive the reading, and I move that we refer them to Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs.
Under discussion?
No, Mr. President.
Further discussion? Being none, on the motion to move these claims to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, Chapter 42, Section 13, service on repeal Broadway.
Councilor McCarthy or Councilor Turiel?
Councilor Turiel.
Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption for second and final passage.
Under discussion.
No discussion.
Being none, no further discussion? On the motion for second and final passage, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, Chapter 42, Section 57A, parking time limited unused zone on Broadway.
Councilor Turiel.
Hey, Mr. President, I move for adoption for second and final passage.
Move for second and final passage, under discussion.
No discussion.
No further discussion? Being none, on the motion for second and final passage, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the matter carries. Quick, Councilor Goh, first over.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would ask for a moment of personal privilege and apologize to you. I was supposed to do this earlier, and I neglected to.
Understood.
In view of the new appointment to the Board of Health replacing Dr. Barbara Paremba, I would ask that we ask the city clerk to send a city seal to Dr. Paremba for thanking her for dedicated and loyal service to the city.
Thank you for remembering that. On the motion to grant the city seal to Barbara Paremba, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the matter carries. Just a point here, Councilor Gerard had to leave very quickly. Her father was taken to the hospital, and let's all have him in our prayers tonight and hope everything works out well. Thank you. Senior Councilor O'Keefe.
Move for adjournment.
No discussion. Councilor O'Keefe moves for adjournment. All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the matter carries. We stand adjourned.
Oh, yeah, I got a bunch of stuff for you.
Thank you, everybody.
No, oh, and when I flipped through it, I saw that, and when you said, could I have it, that's why I left it.
I do this every time. I take all the stuff home.
All right, good job, everybody.
Oh, yeah, the guy from the
Your family doesn't have to worry about nominating you here because you, really, that's what they want to do.
Rosemary, wait up, I'll walk out with you.
Everyone. They're black?
Bottom of your last vote. Have a good night.
No, I just meant I
Oh, good. Good job.
Thank you. The bottom one.
Why don't you grab it? Thank you very much.
Sorry.
No, I'll get it.
That's all right.
Look at that. Oh, thank you.
Good night.
Not now.
I don't know. Does anybody know what happened with the mayor? You know what happened with the mayor?
Should, but you don't have to. So don't add it now.
I don't know why she could have spoken today. Who?